Okay, this is chapter 4, lesson 4.7, convert between systems. So converting between systems, okay, we're going to be converting between the customary system and the metric system and vice versa. So here's a chart, okay, and it gives you some conversions between the two. So for example, for length, for inches, right, 1 inch is approximately 2.54 centimeters, okay, and so on. So we're going to be using this to help you out as far as the conversions go. Now, there are many ways to convert between systems. I'm a fan of formulas because you have one formula and then you can use that for all of the problems, and you just plug in the numbers, plug in the units, and then it will work for every problem. So I did put up on my YouTube channel another video from another person, I'm assuming another teacher, that has this formula. So I used it from him, and I thought that it was very clever, and you could use it for everything. So it's just knowing where to plug in and what to plug in, and then if you have to multiply or divide. So, for example, this is the template of the formula. So in the first, this is a fraction times another fraction, which is equals another fraction. So the first fraction, okay, is what we start off with. So whatever you start with. So I'm going to write that. So what we have, okay, what we have or start with. So for example, if we had 4 cups, right? 4 cups is how many milliliters, which we're actually going to do in the next example. That's what we would put there, okay? So it's what we have or start with. Now, in that little box there, okay, those boxes are all for the units. So we're going to write, so for that red box, and right, and the red box on the bottom, those two, okay, you would fill in with the units we have, or the units we start with. Okay, and then the other 2 boxes, the blue ones, those are going to be for the units we want, okay, the units that we're looking for. So the units we want. And in the last fraction, okay, is our answer. So what we get would go here. And then in this middle fraction right here, okay, is going to be the relationship between the 2 units that you're converting. Okay, so say cups and milliliters, right? The relationship between the two. So to find that, you would look on this chart, you would find that, and you would plug it in. So we're going to do our first example. So the first example is how many, 4 cups is approximately how many milliliters. So the first thing that you would do is you would go to the chart and you would find the relationship between cups and milliliters. So let's look. Okay, so we go to capacity. Okay, cups. So cups right here. So 1 cup is approximately 236.59 milliliters. So let's write that down. 1 cup is approximately 36.59 milliliters. Okay, so that information we didn't make up, didn't come out of nowhere. We got that from the table. Okay, now then we make our formula and we fill in. So the first fraction, that first part again, is what we start with or what we have. We have 4 cups. That's what they gave us. We have 4 cups. So I'm going to put 4, and I'm going to put C for cups. Okay, and those 2 red boxes are the units that we start with, right, or we have. We have cups, so I'm going to put C in that bottom one as well. Now, the 2 blue boxes are for the units we want. Okay, we want milliliters. We have cups. We want milliliters. So I'm going to put ml in that box and ml there. Okay, then that middle fraction, okay, remember, is the relationship between the two, which we found from the table. So where the milliliters is, okay, I'm going to put 236.59. Okay, that's what we found from the table, right? And the cups, we got 1 cup. Okay, 1 cup, right? 236.59 milliliters. And that is what we got, again, from that table. So everything's filled in. So now all we have to do is we'll rewrite it so it doesn't look as messy. So 4 over 1 times 236.59 over 1. Now, this is just a regular multiplying fractions problem, right? You multiply straight across, so 4 times 236.59, right, over 1 times 1, which is 1. Okay, so basically, you're multiplying those 2 numbers. okay? And just to save time, okay, the answer comes out to be 946.36, okay? So in the end here, we have our answer. We found that 4 cups is approximately 946.36 milliliters. 946.36 milliliters. So all we did was we plugged into our formula, our standard formula, okay? We found out that we were basically just multiplying. We did that, okay? And then we found our answer. Okay, our next one is 2.9 liters is approximately how many gallons? Okay, so the first thing that we do is we go and we look at our chart, our table, okay, and we find the relationship between gallons and liters. Okay, so again, that's another capacity. So, okay, so 1 gallon is 3.79 liters. Okay, so I wrote that down for us. 3.79 liters is approximately 1 gallon. Okay, and again, that's what we got from that table. So now let's make our formula. Okay, and then we plug in, right? So the first fraction is what we have. We have 2.9 liters. That's what they gave us, right? 2.9. We put our liters in that box. We also put that liters in the box in the denominator, right? The units that we start with. And then in the blue boxes, the unit that we want, right? We want gallons. So we put GAL. Then the relationship, right, between the two that we got from that table, right? So 1 gallon, okay, is approximately 3.79 liters. Okay, we just plugged in. Then we rewrite. So 2.9 over 1 times 1 over 3.79. Okay, multiply straight across like a regular multiplying fraction problem. 2.9 times 1 is 2.9, and 1 times 3.79 is 3.79. Now, this one looks a little different. We're not multiplying this time. You're dividing. You're dividing 2.9 divided by 3.79. Okay, so you have to make sure that you remember top in, bottom out. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the whole division with you, but I want to help you set it up. Okay, so top in, bottom out. So let's do that. Top in, bottom out. So bottom goes out, the top goes in. Okay, so you just have to remember that when you divide decimals, right, you cannot have a decimal on the outside. You have to make it into a whole number. In order to do that, we need to move this decimal point, okay, over all the way to the right side to make it a whole number. So in order to do that, let's see how many jumps we got. 1, 2, or no, we take whatever you do on the outside, you have to do on the inside. 1, 2. So now let's rewrite this. Let's rewrite it. So now we have 379, right, on the outside, and 279, okay, with our decimal, bring it up. Okay, then we can add our 0 at the end. Okay, so now it's just a regular division problem, okay, long division. So when you do all your division, okay, make sure you do that, and then you can check your answer. You do your division, and you end up with 0.76517 dot dot. Okay, but obviously you wouldn't go that far. Okay, so it's either going to say round to the nearest tenth or round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, I'm assuming the nearest hundredth. So to round that, right, you would really just go 3 numbers after the decimal point. Okay, then you would look at what number's in the hundredths place. In this case, it's that 6. You would look at the number to its right, 5 or higher, up the score, 4 or less, let it rest. Okay, it's 5 or higher, so that's 6 is going to go up to a 7. Okay, then you would chop and drop. So your answer would come out to be 0.77. Okay, so 2.9 liters is approximately 77 hundredths or 0.77 gallons. And that is your final answer.